Welcome to Where to Ski with me, your host, John Morgan. While most episodes are designed to bring insights on a mountain that you, your family, or your friends might enjoy, today we're in Vermont talking to an amazing man and preeminent photographer, Hubert Schriebl. Grab your skis and let's dive into the world of skiing and life in the mountains. Sometimes I come across a story that is so compelling, I feel I must dig deeper and bring this to an audience. Hubert Schreibl's stunning photography has thrilled New Englanders for decades. Born in Austria, Hubert arrived in Vermont in 1964 to teach at the Stratton Mountain School, and he made it his home. He's traveled, skied, and taken photographs around the world, from the Arctic Circle to the Himalayas to the American Southwest. It also includes 4 Winter Olympics, multiple World Cup races, and just everyday life all over southern Vermont. His work has appeared in Skiing, Geo, Time, Newsweek, Sports Illustrated, Vermont Life, Stratton Magazine, and a bunch of other places. He's chronicled his life in his adopted home state, not just capturing the image, but capturing what's behind the image, making him one of the preeminent sports photographers, in skiing. We met up with Hubert in Manchester, Vermont, at a show back in October and recorded this. It was recorded at a tough venue at a local diner, so you have to listen closely, but this is worth it. We'll be right back with Hubert. I get asked all the time, what do you ski on? Well, I ski on Stokely. It's awesome. Got a great pair of ARs, and they will do everything I ask of them in almost every snow condition. It's a good all-around ski. I've got a few other skis, but Stokely's my go-to, and that's what I'm sticking with. Stokely makes skiers comfortable, makes you confident. And a confident skier is a best skier. When you can rely on that ski, when you put weight on that edge, and it comes around just the way you expect it to, can't do much better than that. So, for good skis, I use Stokely. Hubert, welcome to Where to Ski. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I'd love to be able to spend some time talking about your journey. You grew up in Austria. You spent your childhood in Austria. You traveled most of the world, documenting the Himalayas and shooting photographs pretty much everywhere all over the world. And you landed in southern Vermont. What was that like? So tell me about where you grew up first.
Well, I grew up in Austria, southeastern Austria. And when I was 17, I moved to Innsbruck because there were bigger mountains. Yeah, I was from Steiermark. It was rolling hills, more like here. So kind of similar. But then I moved to Innsbruck. And I recall the first I arrived at night. And I bought my room because this was kind of organized for me. And I found my room and went to sleep because it wasn't. And next day I woke up actually late, and I got out on the street. It was on the Leopoldstrasse, and I looked down, and there was Nordkette, the mountains up there, way up there. And I was so impressed. So I started to walk down the street and then the end of the street, and then I started to walk up, just wherever the path was. And then by 5 o'clock, I was at the top of the Himalayas. It's the highest point there. It's 2,400 feet. And so it was just on time. So the whole pack up there was Innsbruck is 400 meters, and also was 2,000 meters. So it's
a good solid hike. That's Did they have a tram then?
6,000 feet. Yes, the tram was there for long. It was one of the early trams, and it just happened when I got to the top. The last tram was on the way down. So there are 2 stations. and that kind of I got hooked on that. But following winter, I used every 3 hours, every 3 day I spent on the safety base. That's that little thing. But you have everything from the very top, the very steep ravines, and from then down, and there was one lift at the beginning of the table. There was no, we knew nothing, and it was steep. So, but I just, I wasn't that good at a skier because I came there to learn it. So, following others, and it just wiped out. You know, you go up and you turn again, and you got wiped up, and you just don't give up. You know, you got beat up one counts, and then finally you got better, and then you start managing this heavy snow that became later the day huge moguls, man-made moguls. I mean, you really almost get lost in there. You wrote those ritual stuff. And then at the end, you could still almost all the way to Innsbruck. It went through the woods. It went through somewhat some kind of low pines. There were turns. You could have the second times, and then there were. I remember always were three choices. One was way out, the one was in the middle, and the one was farther out. So if you had the first one, it just you go to up speed like crazy, you know. And so, but you always had the second one if you did okay. And the third one was more for the beginning. And I went there and did the spring, and I remember through the woods, then all of a sudden it was icy, slush, and all of a sudden there was just ice, and then nothing. But you couldn't stop. You know, I mean, it's just forward, wiping out,
Probably streams and everything else.
exactly sliding on the mud over the bank, and on the bank was warm, and it was warm. That the leaves were already dry, you know, so it was warm that the leaves from the year before. So sliding into this, I got up and I looked like a chicken. I was just doing the concrete.
So you learned to ski on Nordic Cat. That's pretty. Now, where did you go from there? You were certified as an alpine guide.
Yeah, from there, when this winter was over, I started upon plans for the Alpine Island, and you got climb all the times. You know, as you got better and better, and you were more courageous to people. And I had great friends that I was moving to this island. And over the years, then I did some very serious stuff in the arts. You know, it Switzerland, skiing the Alpine prize, and I climbed a model was my first clip it was Alpine, and that was back in 57 dollars. I think it was 57. Yes, it was. I was French. Was the war at that time. And I went back. I climbed the classics from the Italian side. A Red Petare is a 3-day climb. Up to the from the south side. We had to spend a night out there because we were still able to stay. It was slushy with snow and avalanches hangs out. And so spend a night there that I bothered about because we sitting on a little plateau, not snow. We thought by the three of us that a little of a hole in the snow. We sit there, and I lay at that time a feedback stop. But at that time, we didn't here have the materials for that. because the plastic came later.
It was all canvas.
But there was oil, but there was clear plastic. And they said I could get it in its foot. And I got this plastic and I sewed them together. So I made a sack. So kind of, or it comes to the computer, but what really was very tight. So they said it was withstand the frost. I tried to have it in somebody's refrigerator and it wasn't breaking up. So as we stood up in the dark, we just slip it back, and as we sat down, all at the same time, it was just it's broken in 1,000 pieces because the plastic couldn't stand the cold.
Cold in the wind.
It's a cold. So it's so happening. So here we are, sitting in the open air at night. It was a long, my friend, he was a very young man, was in the middle between of the other client, was dentist in a friend, Richard. So we were sitting there, and he was just in the middle. He was so cold, just kind of yelling. So he was just watching. Time go by, watch start shooting, and but you got through it. So we
Longest night of your life.
before we took off the boots. I remember the boots were leather. They were soaking wet all the way through. But like once you take the boots off and you put it in the ropes on it, and you have the feet in also. And so so as soon as there was a little bit of light, but after that, so in the minute, the avalanches in the beginning were shooting down. There was a ravine, and that we had to cross. That's why we were stuck. So the avalanches were near the pieces of sliding, the sound.
You were hearing that all night.
It rained, and then it was start being silent because it rose up. The rocks rose to the snow. It was quiet. And then the morning we moved over across the ravine without anything coming. That was, and then we went down to the mountain. But it was being so young and our equipment, I mean, our clothing was pathetic.
Well, and it's good to be young and stupid and get stuck on the side of a mountain too.
That wasn't the only time I was stupid.
I've done plenty of stupid things, and I still do stupid things.
So Mont Blanc is very much my favorite area because it's so close. It's closer in structure than the Himalayas. It is just Austria, nice mountains, also beautiful, even climbing everything. But Switzerland and the French Alps, they're just a step up. 1,000 meter.
Yes.
So you go there. But this was the challenge. And it brought me a couple of many times back, actually. I had climbed it 9 times. I wanted to go back later, but it was 70, but it was too much slides, rock falls.
Those ice fields up there move quite a bit too.
Yeah. But we went over there and we climbed Monte Rosa. You probably have seen that. Up to Fuhr when I was 17. And, that was 50. It was 50 years later that I climbed the first time Monte Rosa.
I've never climbed. I skied under it.
Yeah.
So coming over to the U.S., how did you get hooked into coming to Vermont?
Well, it was Abel Henley who was the founder of the ski school as well.
Mhm.
And I knew him from the Alpine Club in Innsbruck, but I never climbed with him or something like this. So I went by the house and he was outside, and then we talked, and he said, well, what he's doing in Berlin? Well, I'll probably go back to instruct there. So I just, well, first I went to the Himalayas. I was there for years. And so I said, well, when I come back, just before Christmas, he said, you want to come to America? You want to come to the States? And at that time, I was just curious. I didn't have anything in mind to come to this country or needed
So that was what, about
to
1965?
live my life, because I had the best life here, and I had nothing but the mountains there in Israel. So it came, and at 64. I came.
64.
And so I came straight from what? And I thought the Stratton was very small. I spent the first week, I slept in the chapel of the stones. I thought it felt a better place. Actually, I said it's a better place because it was quiet.
And it was warm.
It was warm.
It was warmer than that ledge on Mont Blanc.
Definitely. It was very funny here because I heard some noises was around and walking upstairs because the chapel of the stone. And my slave was like the fifth house. I thought you could hear the bubbling. And the next day, it was rumbling in the morning. Well, maybe it was 10 o'clock. I was a little late. There was the church cooking. The spirits came in. I was supposed to sky. It was really, you know,
So that's so emo that brought you over, and you started by teaching.
yes.
And when did you start? You taught for quite a while, but you also started doing a lot of photography. You're famous for.
Well,
What you did.
I was taking pictures being in the Himalayas. I took a lot of pictures. Mountain climbing technically. You want to freeze those moments, you know. And I started pretty early, and the pictures I still love because I felt they were pretty good right in the beginning. I was very selective. So I came and I took pictures at Stratton. Not actually very active, but then I was thinking of becoming a photographer. So I went back to Austria and started climbing in Austria with the arms. And then when I came back, I saw a Stratton using some of my pictures.
Without asking.
The poster, you know, with the boys shoot lightning on top of the snow cat. Yeah, without asking, but at that time it was. But, I was pleased that they worked there. I had also another poster at that time. It was two Olympians, Austrian, was here at Stratton was Gies Leitner and Ernst Hittersüler. They were here, was the clothes. And I got them on a poster. Not good, a good picture. I didn't like that picture. Brilliant. I thought it was good.
And it's just gone from there. You've documented the growth of Stratton, the growth of Southern Vermont, the changes. And, you've gone into almost every part of life now with your photography, from the festivals to the bike races, to the running races, to the skiing, to just life in general. And on top of that, you've also documented a lot of the beauty of Vermont as well.
Yeah, it has its own. At the beginning, I wasn't all. Then when I stayed we met my wife here and stayed here. And the summer, I thought it was too green. It was. I I didn't have the whites of the mountains, over there, and the buff timberline, and all the views that what people like looked down for. Yeah, there was, and but then yes, I'm such. I don't know. I wasn't really much talking. I just what a job to whatever I was doing. It was not. It was contrived. I wanted to do a history. It just became
And it just became history.
because it goes so fast and yeah,
It's sort of like the fall here. Yesterday, the leaves,
yeah.
for the listeners, we're right at the peak of leaf season now. And today is Wednesday. On Monday, it was the peak of leaf season. Some wind came through, and half the leaves are now gone. It goes very quickly.
When it's the peak, the following days.
Exactly. It's gone. Now, when you moved here, there were a lot of Austrians that came over in that period of time between the late 1950s and about 1970. Was that helpful for you to have a sort of a core group of people from your country here? Or was it a distraction?
I wasn't really a part of it. I wasn't. But because I was not a yoga. I was not a shooter. I wasn't. I was. That was my. It's my shortcoming, maybe. I was not a shooter. I was not a yoga. I was only a skier. In like that climber. But the ski. Can you imagine at the beginning when I came at that time, there was a handful of people that would go cross country. I remember up there, we walked over to the Stratton pond out there, and we were a handful. There was the Austrian counts from New York, yes, Rudy Matisich, and he was the head of the touring council. Nobody was walking. Nobody was sliding. I mean, they were here, but not up there. It was so new. It was really an introduction to. Then we walked out to the sunboard that wasn't. There were no trails there. There was a cemetery. It's an old logging road to the north cemetery. The sunboard.
I remember.
So there were those trips, and then we did one trip I did then with Amo after the ski school closed, or when the last chairlift was from. So Amo and Amo was like, so Amo and I went up on the last chair and went up to the top, walked over to the fire tower. Now everything was very narrow, so with long skis at that time,
Big wooden skis.
Well, I had I had some of the early head standards. Yeah. So went over there, and that's everything. But what spring was a longer day, but there was plenty of stuff. From there, we went through the woods to the stock park. The hotel was very narrow, so you couldn't make a turn. You couldn't sleep. You couldn't do anything because but somehow, and you couldn't take off your ski because the snow was too small.
You go
kind of go from tree to tree, catch that tree and catch the other way, and make the way down.
Is that how you figured out where the snowball should go? Or the sunball should go?
No, it's the other way.
The other way.
Yeah. But then we got there, it was late, the sun was down. And we had a big, this Italian bottle young, level 7. So, yeah, we got that. And then after I got off, we walked back it takes a couple of months to do things.
Do you ever have any regrets about moving to the U.S.? I know you go back to Austria almost every year, but
Yeah, I do regret a lot. In the early years, and then over there and read about different ski areas, the magazines. So I saw many resorts, Switzerland, and Austria. And that was always fun. And that was also a good time to be involved with family.
And that's the hardest part, is being separated from your family.
But no, I never really. I'm not the homesick. You always go and then you see something.
Well, your adopted home loves you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You've made it. You've made it your home, and you've added so much more to it. Thank you, Hubert, for spending some time talking to us. And hopefully everyone's gotten a flavor of what it's taken for to move from Austria and move to the U.S. and help contribute to the growth of U.S. skiing. I get asked all the time, what do you ski on? Well, I ski on Stokely. It's awesome. Got a great pair of ARs, and they will do everything I ask of them in almost every snow condition. It's a good all-around ski. I've got a few other skis, but Stokely's my go-to, and that's what I'm sticking with. Stokely makes skiers comfortable, makes you confident. And a confident skier is a best skier. When you can rely on that ski, when you put weight on that edge, and it comes around just the way you expect it to, can't do much better than that. So, for good skis, I use Stokely. If you like our podcasts, please share them and listen to perspectives on the world's best mountains from the legends that live there. Thanks for joining, and thanks to the Grits for the music.
He feel it, she feel it, we feel it. So round and round we go.